last night, knowing that I was going to be working on the trailing edge, I ended up designing and printing this template or jig to hold the trailing edge. Instead of using the 4-foot long piece, I got this little short piece. And it fits perfectly in there. It took a little over an hour to print, so I don't really care if I drill into this. It should go pretty, should make this next step a lot easier than trying to balance it on washers like I did last time. All right, so that worked really good. My only gripes with it are I'm gonna make some changes before I do the flaps, because I'm pretty sure the flaps need this done too, is I'm gonna put some holes like here and here, just so like chips can fall right through instead of getting caught. Other than that, I mean, it really sped up the whole process. I'm pretty happy with it. So as I expected, I pretty much ran out of aircraft stuff that I want to do today until tools come in. I did find out that the squeezer should be here tomorrow, and our mailman usually shows up pretty early. He's usually here by like 9:30 in the morning. So I'll probably end up doing that as long as the day doesn't go to hell at some point. In the meantime, I'm going to pull my big ass toolbox out. I'm going to pull this drill press out, and I'm going to, there's a outlet behind my toolbox. There's another outlet on the other side of this wall over here. I'm going to disconnect the wiring over there, open up the junction box over there, and then I'm going to cut this conduit open and put a brand new junction box in so that I don't have to keep running an extension cord over here. So I got this all opened up, and I don't know why I was surprised. This entire warehouse has been wired with multi-wire branch circuits. So instead of having to find a breaker for one circuit, I need to kill two separate circuits because I'm going to be cutting, even though this wire's not hooked up to this outlet, I need to cut it a distance back. So just hopefully I marked all the breakers right in the panel. I don't remember what I did when we did it. So I don't have my tester here with me, but we're gonna play the game of turn the drill on and shut breakers off until I don't hear it running anymore. Not that one. 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 It's that one. All right. All right, we got this whole circuit dead. Turns out that outlet there is on the same circuit as this outlet here. I've checked that outlet there and that outlet there. Those are all on the same circuit, but this conduit runs further past, hits that box there. There's another one back over there, and those are on a different circuit. So those have all been killed. So now I'm gonna hop in here and disconnect the wires and then pull them back so that I can cut this conduit right over here. All right, I got the wires pulled out. I got my box made up. If anybody's questioning why I'm using ring tight connectors, it's because that's what I found on the shelf. I don't have any set screw ones here, and that means I didn't have to go to the store to buy any. All right, that's all in place now. I used a ram set to secure it. I didn't think the yellow stoppers were gonna stop the nail from going all the way in, but they did. That broke the head off of that nail, but this box not going anywhere. So now I just gotta pull the wire back in, and then I should be able to get this thing powered up, and then I don't have to drag an extension cord here every time I want to use my drill. All right, apparently I had a technical failure with pressing the record button, so all of this did not get recorded at all. But as you see, outlets are in, and if I come flap the magic switch, everything works. So I did take into consideration that when I was testing all the outlets, at least as far back as the black wall where the TV is plugged into, all these outlets to my toolbox were on circuit 12. 16 hit my brother's tool bench and went to, there's one more outlet back there someplace. So since 16 really had no load on it, I decided to put this on 16. I just gotta go grab my label maker and identify that outlet, and this way we won't have to guess in the future. That's probably going to cover it for today. Tomorrow looks like it's going to be hectic now, so who knows if I'll get back to this tomorrow at all. So I think I'm just going to clean up and yeah, call it a day. All right, today is Monday and the mailman came nice and early, so I got the new squeezer set. I don't know if you can see that they're slightly on an angle, whereas I put everything away. This has a flat head, and that is squeezed or angled. So, and this little wire, I guess, holds, make sure you have the alignment right so that it can squeeze right. So I'm gonna go set these rivets real quick. All right, here we go, putting in some rivets. This goes incredibly easy and was very satisfying to get it. All right, first aileron is done. Those squeezers made it really easy. I'm gonna go take the other one off and do the same thing. Actually, I might just do it right on, I don't know. See, I'll either take it off or whatever, but I'm gonna temporarily put this back on the left wing so that it's out of the way and get started on that. So I'm not really sure what's going on over here. This side, when I riveted it, like it just popped this side up, and I'm not really feeling that. So I guess I'm gonna have to drill out all these rivets here and see what's actually going on. It sucks, but I'll just have to take my time and go through it. All right, here we go, drilling out some rivets. Some of them don't always come out, so you have to use a pick to pop them out. the ultimate process wasn't too bad to do this. Throw a bunch of Clecos back in, make sure it's straight, and then just rinse, wash, repeat. Start putting rivets in and chuck along. All right, so that's complete. I don't know why this one decided it was going to give me so many issues. For some reason, the lip just kept popping up. When I got to the last rivet over there, it just shot up to the side like I hadn't even countersunk the previous piece that was in there, which I pulled it all out thinking that that's what the case was, but nope, it was countersunk. So I really don't know why I was having such issues. I ended up bending the trailing edge wedge piece more than I cared, so I just grabbed another one from one of the flaps and I just ordered another one. Cost 15 bucks to ship it, so it's not the end of the world, and I don't plan on touching that anytime soon. So I'm gonna put what hardware I can in on for these ailerons, and then I think I'm kind of at a standstill until that bottom skin comes in. The dynon pitot tube won't be here until Thursday, so there's really no point in trying to do the bottom skin on the right wing, I think it is. I don't know, whatever one's in front of me. Might be the left wing. Yeah, so I just really want to get those parts in so at least I can actually continue doing stuff. Like I said, I don't want to start the flaps until I have the tanks installed, all the bottom skins done. I don't want to keep continuing further into this project and have a bunch of steps left over. And it just make my life a million times easier knowing where I'm at. So yeah, that's it for now. All right, temporarily put that in. And now I'm just trying to get these washers in here. This is a huge pain in the butt. I've dropped the washers probably 500 times trying to get them in there. Doesn't. So I was trying to figure out why this was hitting, even though I got all the washers in. Turns out I didn't read the service bulletin right and used the wrong style rivets there. So fortunately my order has not gone out today, so Vans is attaching some additional rivets for me to drill those 3 out on each side. All right, today's Wednesday, July 14th. I'm still waiting for parts to come in. Dynon parts should be here tomorrow. The Vans doesn't know what's going on with my tank order. It says it's shipped, but for whatever reason, they can't seem to find it. So they're trying to figure out that. They've been pretty helpful trying to figure that situation out, so I'm not really complaining about it. But since I'm in a self-imposed stop until I get parts, I'm just working on updating the shop and whatnot. So today I'm going to extend an airline to where my drill press is, because it's very tedious dragging the air hose over. So I mentioned it before in another video. We use a system in our building that we actually sell it to, but we use it in our building called Unipipe. And it's very easy to work with. So I guess I'll just do like a video of me and different things that we can do with it. So these are some of the fittings that we have for Unipipe. This is a double flange adapter so that we can put 2 1/2-inch fittings on it, and 1/4 inch fitting, or you continue to use this as a drain plug, which is what we recommend it for. I have my ball valve that will take 20 millimeters here and 25 millimeters here. I can get it with both 20 millimeter on both sides, 25 millimeter on both sides, or this combination unit, which I'll get into that in a little bit. This is a 20 millimeter 90. This is a 25 millimeter fitting to 20 millimeter pipe adapter. This fits into any of the 25 millimeter fittings. This is a 25 millimeter T. And then this is a 25 millimeter saddle branch. And what this will allow me to do is I can undo this screw here. If this will ever come out. Usually we do this with a screwdriver or Allen key. So you just take this out, slides out. Let me grab a pipe. All right, I went and grabbed a scrap piece of 25 millimeter pipe that we had in our recycle bin. So this just slides in here, that slides there, and then you bolt it back on. Then you take this cap off and you drill a hole about the size of that fitting right there, and then you tighten this back up, and then you can continue and you can slide this wherever you need it until you drill your hole. So which is nice if you don't know exactly where you need it. You don't have to worry about making sure you cut your T in 100% perfect. So that will go there for now. What's really nice about this system is I have my 25 millimeter fitting, pull out the O-ring, or the steel lock washer. There's a O-ring right inside here. And as long as you get your pipe in there past that O-ring, it's not going to leak. But what I'm going to do here is my double flange adapter it's for a 25 millimeter fitting. So I can just screw this on. Set it where I want, and then just set that set screw in there. And now I have a valve right at the end. So I'm gonna go grab my laser and get this set up. All right, here I'm just like taking some clips and drilling them into place. I use the width of one of the clips as the depth gauge of how high I wanted to set the clip up on the rafters there of the joists. All right, I realized I didn't need my laser for what I needed it for, just yet at least. But so now, because I have a very tight spot that I got to get this fitting into, I won't be able to tighten it once it's in there. I'll be able to do the bottom piece, but I won't be able to do the top piece right now. So all I gotta do is just take this back nut out a little bit, and then, I don't know if I'm gonna do this with my wrist all screwed up, but you can hear it hit like the backstop. And then from there, all you gotta do is tighten it. And once it's hand tight, take your wrench and then just do a 1/4 turn past, and that's it. If I was moving shops or wanted to relocate this drop, all I'd have to do is take this nut out and I could pull it out. I might have to like
pull the steel lock ring off, but this fitting is 100% reusable. The pipe depends on, you know, what you're, like if you need it shorter, you can always cut it, but you're not going to stretch it.
All right, just fishing it through the strapping and the pipe. Over here, I got a laser set up just to make sure it lines up where I want, and throw some clips in there. First, I was hoping there'd be a magical stud hidden behind there, but there wasn't, so I had to go find some anchors. Make sure that's all nice level.
All right, as you can see, I've got my laser set up to make sure that this was vertical. Got my clips installed. I went and cut my pipe. I don't remember how long it's supposed to be, but I deburred both ends. And what's nice with these plastic clips, all you really have to do is put them in, click, click, and then I can still slide it, but it's not really gonna move off the wall. So I gotta grab my little ladder thing so I can make sure I get it inside the connector up top and tighten that up.
All right, just making sure that lock ring is nice and tight. It's a pain. It was a real tight fit up there trying to get the wrench. Same thing here, just drill some holes, throw some anchors in. I was able to get the first couple ones in by hand. I had to go get a hammer for the other ones and just tighten it down.
All right, so I just went upstairs and grabbed some fittings. I got a coil hose, a quick disconnect, a 1/2 inch to 1/4 inch NPT bushing, and a blowgun. The reason I'm not using 2 quick disconnects here is they are terribly bad for your air system if you don't need them. And being that the sole purpose of me running this drop over here was solely so that I could have a blowgun, that blowgun's not going to be leaving this area. So I'm just going to put a coil hose right there and permanently attach it. I will put the quick disconnect in there for the rare occasions that we might need air closer by, but there's no point in putting 2 of them in there if I don't need it. Plus, if I put 2 of them in here, somebody's likely to walk off with this blowgun. So it kind of kills 2 birds with 1 stone. So take this, give it a wraps, and all right, that's good there. It's really good thing to do offhand. Okay. All right, so this does have some thread sealant on it. I'm still just gonna put a little bit more just because, I don't know, I've never trusted factory amounts for some reason. Even though I constantly tell people the factory says it's good. Okay. Make it loose. All right, that's gonna be good for tonight because I don't have my tubing cutter here that I'm gonna need to trim the other side. Plus I don't have my larger drill bits that I need to set the saddle branch with. So we'll take care of that tomorrow.
So I messed up this morning. I thought I hit record, but I didn't. But you see, this goes together pretty easily. drilled out my hole in there. You can see it hits the other pipe, so now I'm just gonna throw this cap on. I do have this valve open just in case I didn't get any of the shavings. I can just blow it out. So come over to the compressor. Okay, so that's closed. I should have blown anything out that was in there. I'll drop a bunch. So we'll come over here. No leaks. I have a tool that we use to test it, but I'm not really gonna go pull it out for this. All right, that works. It's nice and easy. I just got this box. It says Fragile. It must be Italian. All right, so the first box that came out is the pitot probe. We got the autopilot servo for the pitch. Yaw servo kit. I didn't order the servo for it because I don't know what I needed and figured it was easier just to order in case I didn't need anything special. This is my roll servo. And my invoice. That's very exciting. That looks good. Oops. Let me go find my knife. So this is for the pitch, and then range of motion limiting bracket. I'll have to look into that. Not too shabby. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sweet. I can use connectors I want.
That's a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be. I will probably replace these connectors with the Deutsch connector, although this one here I will probably leave alone. Pretty neat. So I think all I'm going to do today is I just put these connectors on. We got roll servo, pitch servo, and then I changed the connectors out on the pitot heater. I did verify that that goes through the actual tube before doing it. It's a little tight, but it easily goes through. My wrist is absolutely throbbing right now. I don't know what I did to it. And then I also painted this whole area today and moved the drill press back in place. So now, I love when people come in here and use it and don't clean their mess. At least we can do that. All right, today is Saturday 16th, I think. I've flipped this around. I'm just gonna do what I can do with my wrist still jacked up. I'm loaded up on a leave today, or not a leave, Advil. And probably just work on getting the conduit ran across and maybe mounting the pitot heater controller.
Alright, today I tried jumping the bit depth in here. Probably won't do this again in the future just because the audio is a nightmare. And I think this takes way longer to watch than it should. So, let's get all the stuff out of there. You see I grab my wrist really often because it's throbbing. Just set all my clips aside where I want them. I'm just going to be rambling here because I don't really know how to fill up a blank space of audio. I do promise I end up cutting quite a bit of this out just because of how annoyed I got watching it. So I got a laser set up and we're just trying to make sure that it lines up how I'd like it to. Here's where I'm measuring the completely wrong side of the wing. I knew there was a hold transition depth and I was looking at it from the wrong side. Ends up it doesn't really matter. A lot of times while I'm working, I'll have like various different YouTube channels playing. So you never know what I'm actually going to be listening to while I'm chugging along. A lot of times here I'm fighting the fact that my right hand, which is my dominant hand, is killing me, and then I'm not able to line anything up easily. So, and this ends up taking me a lot longer than it really should have. Just trying to measure it, make sure that I don't look like 100% idiot. Turns out measurements were pretty good. Here we go with me starting out drilling with the wrong drill bit. Started drilling with a number 40 drill bit and drilled all the holes, swapped out to go put the rivets on, and then discovered that the rivets were 1/8 rivets and I should have used a number 3 drill bit, which we'll be seeing that in a second. Very exciting. Over here I'm drilling these two out because I didn't like the way I put the rivets in, so fortunately I had more of the clips and just put new ones in. Alright, over here I am struggling to get a glico to hold the clip on. The flat side of that rib is on the inside of that bay that's already been skinned. Alright, so I must have gotten one rivet in here, so now I can take all the cleats out, so I believe I'm done with the installing of the clips. Oh no, now I gotta drill all the other holes now. That's what it is. I forget what I did yesterday. I forget what I did an hour ago. Here's what I was going to say. It might just be, I think operator gun sounds pretty cool in person, but the poof sound sounds pretty cool in the Fortnite setup. Alright, I'll flip over here.
All right, now I got everything, I guess all those clamps riveted in. I'm going to try to fish it down through over there, which I've already skinned. So I wasn't able to support it on 3 ribs, but I think it'll be fine. So start that now.
Nothing more fun than trying to install a floppy conduit in an area that you can't see. It's literally sitting on the tip of my fingers as I'm trying to pull it through. Pull it back a little bit, do a little bit of stretch, just so I know it's going to be nice and straight. And then I just got to cut it off. That's pretty much it.
All right, that's all taken care of. It's kind of hard to see, but it doesn't appear to be dragging inside. It's nice and straight. I did put some tension on it, so hopefully this will stay up. So the next thing I think I wanted to work on was figuring out how I was going to mount the pitot heater. I can't recall if I recorded this the other day. I did put new connectors on here. I'm not a fan of the spade style connectors, and these are at least waterproof and have positive latch. Let's see.
right. Should I put it into this bay because I know I will have, where's that skin? Okay, so I brought the other skin back over. I just wanted to see where the access port lined up. I know there's going to be a linkage that lines right here. I just realized I might have screwed myself. We'll find out, I guess, in the near future, because I just realized that, let's see if I take this off. I just realized that kind of, it might clear. It'll be close. We'll find out, I guess, over the next couple weeks. If it doesn't, then I'll just have to cut that out and pop it out and not use it. Or I suppose I could, I don't know, I'll cross that bridge when it comes time to it. So I think as far as this goes, what I think I want to do is go make a bracket that I can, I don't know if I want to make it like clip on to the rib right here. I mean, I suppose I could always call Monday and find out if I can drill and tap the web. I mean, they've drilled other holes into it. I can't imagine that putting, well, that is kind of thin there. I don't think I'm going to be able to tap it. Although I could put riv nuts in there. That might be doable. So if I put, come here. I might be able to just put some riv nuts in there, being how thin it is. I have a bunch of them over here. Where did they go? Ready to insert. Here we go. So, yeah, I suppose that might be a little too big. I might have to find a smaller, see if I have, the M3 ones are pretty small. Those might fit. I guess I gotta figure out what size hole is on this. What do I even have for hardware that will fit this? Let's see. I would prefer to go with the largest size possible. Just grab a random bolt. 3 mil seems to be it. I guess for Yeah, A and 3 is definitely not going to fit through there. What we got for screws in here? Number 6. So I could go with either an M3 or a number 6. I have plenty of M3s. I don't have any number 6 riv nuts, so that probably, they think that's going to answer it. So I just got to make sure that they would be satisfied with me drilling right there and putting some riv nuts in. That would make it stupid easy if I can do that. If not, I guess I'll have to make a mounting bracket to attach to that somehow. With that, I'm not really sure what else I can do today, so I'm gonna stop for now and try to figure something